Can property managers use QuickBooks Online to track income by property? The resounding answer is yes. And in this video, we'll walk through the 8 steps that will take you from configuring your QuickBooks Online account to running a profit and loss statement by property. Let's dive in. The first step is to ensure you're using QuickBooks Online Plus or Advanced. The second step is to turn on classes. To do this, you'll click on the gear icon and then click on Company Settings. And then you go down to Advanced. And then under Categories, you can see that Track Classes is currently off, but by clicking on the pencil icon, you can then turn it on. So this changes to green. You want to be sure that Warn Me when a transaction isn't assigned a class is checked. This is a very helpful reminder. And under Assign Classes, you want to select 1 to each row in transaction and then click Save. And then if we scroll up a bit, you can see that the customer label is currently set to customers. If you click on the pencil icon and then the drop-down arrow, you can see that there are other options. So perhaps tenants or guests will be more appropriate for your business. I'm going to use customers for this purpose, and then click Save, and then Done. For this example, we have 2 properties. One is a duplex, so it has 2 units, and it's located at 555 Coconut Avenue. And the second property is a house for rent at 777 Peach Boulevard. Let's move on to the third step, which is to create a class for each property. So we'll go to the gear icon and click on it, and then go to All Lists, and then Classes. And we're going to add a class for each property. So I'm clicking on the New button, and the first class will be for the property where the duplex is located, 555 Coconut Avenue, and Save. And then the New button again for the second property, which is located at 777 Peach Boulevard, and then Save again. The fourth step is to create a rental income account. We'll head over to Transactions and then click on Chart of Accounts, and then the New button. And the name of our new account will be Rental Income. The account type will be Income, and the detail type will use Service Fee Income, and then Save. The fifth step is to create a product or service for each unit. Click on the gear icon and then Products and Services, and we'll click on the New button, and this will be a service. And the first one will be for Unit 1 of the duplex located at 555 Coconut Avenue, Unit 1. And we're going to associate it with the property location, which is 555 Coconut Avenue. And the description will be monthly rent. And the income account will be rental income. And then I'm going to click the drop-down arrow and select Save and New. Now we have our second unit. That's part of the duplex. So that's Coconut Avenue, and this is Unit 2. And the class is 555 Coconut Avenue. That's where the property is located. We'll use the same description, monthly rent, and we're going to point this to our rental income account, and then we're going to make one more for the house that's for rent, and this is at 777 Peach Boulevard, and the class this time is the property location, 777 Peach Boulevard. We'll again use the description, monthly rent, and the income account will also be rental income. And then we'll save and close. We have our classes set up for each property and services for each unit for rent. Now we'll move on to the next step. The sixth step is to create an invoice for each tenant. Click on the New button and then Invoice. And the customer name is Danny Wiles. The invoice date was July 1st, and the terms are net 10, which means that the invoice has to be paid within 10 days of the invoice date. And the product or service, so Danny is renting Unit 1 at 555 Coconut Avenue, and you can see that it populates with the description that we set up, monthly rent, and the rate is $1,800, and the class is also automatically populated based on when we set up the service, and so we're going to click Save and Close. The seventh step is to record a payment received from a tenant. So we'll click on the New button and then Receive Payment. And the payment was made by the tenant, Danny Wiles. The payment date was July 8th, and he paid by check. The reference number on the check, so it's check number 84, and it was deposited to the Chase checking account. And we can see the open invoice for the tenant, Danny. So I'm going to click in the box. And indeed, he paid $1,800, so the full amount for the rent for Unit 1. So we're going to Save and Close. The same process for creating invoices and receiving payments will be repeated for the tenant in Unit 2 and the renter of the house. Our final step is to run a profit and loss statement by property. So we'll head over to Reports and then Standard Reports, and then click on Profit and Loss. And we're going to change the reporting period to this month and display columns by classes that we can see the properties. And the counting method, we're going to use cash so we can see the money that was actually received in the month, and then run the report. And here we can see the two properties. So we have the duplex at 555 Coconut Avenue, and we can see that it generated $3,600 of rental income. And then we have the house for rent at 777 Peach Boulevard, and it brought in $2,900 of rental income. We can also switch to Modern View, and you can see that we have the same report period this month. The counting method is cash. And in order to display the properties, if you click on Display, then you would select Display Columns by Class. We've made it through the 8 steps for using QuickBooks Online to track income for each property. In a future video, we'll dive into how to record expenses by property. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment or question below. I wish you the best on your bookkeeping journey.